There are weddings, and then there are the kinds of celebrations that feel like someone took a dream, dipped it in gold, and set it on fire just to see how bright it could burn. And somewhere in the middle of one of the most extravagant celebrations India has ever seen, Jennifer Lopez stepped into the spotlight, not on a world tour, not on an award show stage, not in a stadium, but at a private wedding where even the stars looked like they were dressed for the occasion. The price of the performance alone was enough to make headlines across continents. $2 million for a single night. One show. One stage. One bride and groom, standing at the center of a world that looked suspended between reality and fantasy. And the question everyone whispered at first became the question the world started asking loudly. What kind of wedding pays Jennifer Lopez $2 million? The answer unfolded in Udaipur, a city where old palaces sit like ancient royalty against lakes that glow like melted diamonds under the moon. For 4 long luxurious days, those palaces didn't just glow, they erupted into color, music, lantern light, fireworks, and the shimmer of couture outfits that looked like they cost more than most people's life savings. Only a handful of weddings in India ever reach this level. The kind where guests whisper, "It feels like a movie," and still somehow feel like the movie isn't doing the moment justice. But this one wasn't just big. It was the kind of celebration that rewrites the definition of big. And right at the center of that spectacle was J.Lo, stepping onto a specially built stage that looked like it was carved out of night sky and gold threads, lighting up the place with a presence that millions pay to see. But in this case, only a few hundred were close enough to witness. The story spiraled far beyond celebrity gossip because of what it revealed. A new era of Indian super weddings, where wealth isn't just on display, it's curated like an art form. This wasn't about love alone. This wasn't about extravagance alone. This was power, status, legacy, global connections, and the hunger to create a moment so iconic that people would be telling the story for decades. Weddings like this aren't events, they are declarations. And this one began with a simple, breathtaking question. Why choose Jennifer Lopez? Out of every global superstar, every legendary voice, every possible performer, why her? Why fly her halfway across the world, dress her in outfits no one saw coming, and create a stage that looked like it belonged at the Grammys rather than at a private gathering? And the answer, as it turns out, was woven into the very nature of families operating at this level. Their world isn't limited to borders. Their celebrations aren't restricted to conventions. They think in continents, not countries, in headlines, not guest lists. Their weddings are designed to be moments that ripple outward across social media, across cultures, across timelines. Jennifer Lopez fit into that vision perfectly. The glamour, the history, the performance energy, the iconic status. She's not just a celebrity. She's an era. When she walks onto a stage, the air changes. And when she walked into Udaipur, she didn't walk in like a guest. She walked in like the main event. But the transformation actually began before she even opened her mouth to sing. She didn't appear in a stunning Western gown. She didn't debut some hyper-modern couture look. She stepped out wearing a pale pink sari embroidered with crystals that caught the light like droplets of starfire. It was soft, elegant, unexpectedly traditional, an homage to the culture surrounding her. Gasps filled the crowd, because no one expected Jennifer Lopez to appear in a sari. Not like this. Not with this kind of dignity and softness. It was a moment of respect, a moment of understanding, and a moment that felt strangely intimate, despite the grand scale of everything around it. And then, like a cinematic twist, it changed. The sari shimmered away into a daring black, cut-out bodysuit that belonged on the world's biggest stage. One breath the room was holding, the next breath it was screaming. The energy shifted from serene to electric, from cultural beauty to pop star dominance. That's the thing about Jennifer Lopez. She doesn't just arrive, she transforms the room around her. But you know, curiosity always circles back to the same question. Who pays for something like this? And, well, why? The bride, Netra Manthana, didn't just come from money. She came from a family that, honestly, commands entire sectors. Her father, Raju Manthana, helms Ingenious Pharmaceuticals, a global powerhouse in generic drug manufacturing. This is a family whose decisions ripple across continents, whose influence reaches into industries most people barely understand. Their power isn't just wealth, it's structural. And the groom, Vamsi Gadiraju, is part of the new wave reshaping the tech world. As the co-founder and CTO of Superorder and a Forbes 30 Under 30 Mind, he represents the kind of success that doesn't come from inheritance, but from innovation, intelligence, and relentless ambition. It's honestly a rare thing when two families like this come together, and they chose to celebrate in a city known for kings, queens, and ancient royalty. Udaipur became their stage, and the world began watching without even realizing it. The celebrations unfolded like chapters in a novel. The opening night exploded with DJ Tiesto, his beats shaking the palace walls, making even the marble shimmer under the lights. Guests danced like it was a private festival created specifically for them. And that was only night one. The Sangeet arrived in a whirl of colors, music, laughter, and performances that made family members feel like stars. Then came the Mehendi ceremony, filled with tradition and color, intricate designs painted on hands, while the lake breeze carried soft music across the courtyard. But everything changed on Sunday. That was the day Jennifer Lopez returned to the stage, and this time she wasn't walking in, she was taking over. The moment the lights hit her, Silence rolled across the crowd. And then the first notes dropped. Waiting for tonight. Goosebumps. Then get right. Then let's get loud. She moved like the stage was built for her and only her. Her second look, a liquid gold outfit with a long flowing jacket, sparkled so intensely it looked like she was dancing inside a fountain of fire. Every movement flashed. Every spin caught the light. The audience didn't just watch. They stared as though hypnotized. And then the final look arrived. A jewel-covered bodysuit cut high, paired with crystal boots that gleamed like carved ice. Not a guest, not a visitor, not a celebrity, but a showstopper. A living spectacle meant to be remembered, photographed, whispered about, replayed again and again. But what truly sealed the moment into history wasn't the glamour, it wasn't the money, it wasn't the stage, it was the toast. At the end of her performance, Jennifer Lopez lifted a glass, smiled softly, and toasted the couple. Simple, gentle, real, no theatrics, no spotlight grab. Just one iconic woman acknowledging two families who had invited her into one of the biggest nights of their lives. And somehow, that moment hit harder than the fireworks. But she wasn't the only famous face turning heads. Bollywood's finest filled the guest list. Dia Mirza, Sophie Choudhury, Amira Dastur, glittering in couture, dancing, laughing, just adding star power to star power. And then came the international guests, Donald Trump Jr. and Bettina Anderson, both dressed in traditional Indian outfits, dancing like they'd been part of the culture forever. It was global, it was glamorous, it was, honestly, surreal. And you know, the deeper truth began to reveal itself. Weddings like this are rising in India because they've become more than just rituals. They are showcases. They display reach, power, modernity, tradition, family lineage, personal legacy, all fused into one unforgettable celebration. Beyoncé performed at an Indian billionaire wedding in 2018. Rihanna performed at another this year for, get this, $5 to $6 million. And now, Jennifer Lopez joins that list, sealing the trend in history. For celebrities, these private shows are not just paychecks, they're gateways, new markets, new partnerships, new opportunities whispered behind palace doors long after the last firework fades. But for families, the return is something even more valuable. It's memory, legacy, a story that becomes part of family DNA. Clips from the celebration exploded across social media. Dance reels, drone shots over glowing palaces, pictures of glittering outfits, laughter and fireworks painting the lake in molten gold. You know, it wasn't drama that made it viral. It was the beauty, the magic, the surreal quality that made viewers blink twice just to confirm the moment was real. But honestly, one thing stood above everything else. One moment glowed brighter than the lights, the outfits, the music, or even the $2 million star on stage. The toast, a bride, a groom, a global icon raising her glass to their future. A hush falling across hundreds of guests. And a memory being carved not with wealth but with meaning, because let's face it, everything else fades. The glitter, the noise, the fireworks, the outfits, they're all temporary. What remains is the moment itself. And sometimes, money builds the stage, but meaning takes the spotlight. If this deep dive pulled you in, tap the like button so more people can join us for stories like this. Hit subscribe for more celebrity moments, luxury worlds, and fascinating pop culture deep dives. And, hey, share this with someone who loves glamorous stories. The next one is already on the way.